Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is me and Byron. Say hi to me, Byron. And we're here.
I've already done my grandstanding and hot dogging for the day. I suppose I could have a partner for this one.
I appreciate the thought that on this dark day that you are willing to have me as your partner.
Ain't your boy Michael J. Fries?
Indeed. We have an 8-man grid here in the Academy action. This is the upper class, including wildcard James Butler, who's doing very well for himself there in second place. Doing a great job.
He's buddling quite along.
This is the car here that is not posted a lap time yet. Ben Davis coming into third place there.
Because he's drunk.
Doing very strongly. He may be. I think the irony is he said he had never raced this track before, which is very weird.
Why is that ironic?
Well, this is a free track that doesn't cost anything, and it's also kind of one of RaceRoom's attractions because no other game has this track. It's the RaceRoom Raceway. And it's just a bit weird anytime a driver says, I've not driven it.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing.
Very, very neat track. This is the bridge layout that we're on today. Byron has in the past expressed an interest in understanding what the bridge is.
Well, I've listened to enough Led Zeppelin to know that it exists.
Unfortunately, the answer is that it's just a bridge that the cars drive over, and that's kind of it. In fact, I believe Mr. James Boutelier is coming up to the aforementioned bridge section.
Where's that goddamn bridge?
There is our grid, though. Josiah Jerome will start from pole. That's not a surprise. James Butler, Ben Davis, Michael Jeffries, Andre Mole, Michael Magas. There's the bridge, by the way. And Joe Racer and Wayne Hutchinson bringing up the back of the pack. Wayne in a bit of an odd spot. He's not normally the slowest man on a track.
That's usually you.
It's not usually me, but usually Wayne is faster than me, so that me out-qualifying both Joe Racer and Wayne Hutchinson's a pretty decent achievement for me. A lot of teammate action going on here. 2 FK Performance cars, 2 Bonk Motorsports cars, and 2 Prixium Adrenaline cars. So, that's a little bit of just an interesting side note of bizarrely teamish cars.
I made fun of Wesley for being very, very last.
Was Wesley in last?
He was last on the grid and then crashed, so I made fun of him for being last the rest of the race.
Interesting. Wesley is normally not at the back of the pack.
He was obviously drunk.
Could be. Also, pleased to announce that Rick Martel has joined the 910 Shiza white team. They have 2 for the Wednesday series, the black team and the white team. There you go.
Racism.
And he has joined the white team alongside Justin Swan. All right.
It's your boy Timberlake.
All right, we are ready to get going here, and it is going to be Josiah Jerome leading James Butler at the start here, and we're off. And not a very good start there for Mike Jeffries. He bogged down a little bit. We'll see if he pays for that particular thing. Ben Davis is getting squeezed a little bit there by James Butler, but Josiah Jerome has gotten away at the front of the pack. Everyone's pretty much in order. Davis gets the inside line, holds it. Andre Mole moving up a spot there for Bonk over his Bonk teammate, Michael Jeffries.
Prixium, is that a dick pill?
I think it is.
Sponsored by Giant Dicks.
You know what? The 2 Pixium cars are 1 and 2, so you can't complain.
I mean, obviously they
they got up.
they got up. They are attentive and willing to put forth some effort.
By the way, this race is brought to you by Fiesta Pale. Do not buy the product.
PossumGrommets.com.
I was explaining Fiesta Pale to my uncle. He had a very good chuckle on that.
That is fucking funny. I can't believe they actually ate it. What are you doing?
I think that's just insanity.
Actually, I have no proof.
Hang on. Ben Davis is trying to go around the outside here of Josiah Jerome, so I feel like this deserves our attention, at least for the time being. Because if he overtakes Josiah, that'd be very rare. Josiah holding the line.
Put him in the wall, Josiah.
He retains the lead of the race for the time being. James Butler there is the 3rd car. Davis is not giving up, though. He's like a dog with a bone, and he is going for it. Trying to slide up the inside of Josiah Jerome here into the first chicane. He does, but the inside turns into the outside, and Josiah will retain the spot. This is opening the door big for James Butler. In the background, Michael Jeffries has gotten back up into 4th place ahead of Andre Mole.
The mole. Who does the mole work for?
The country of the Netherlands.
Or is he a mole in the Netherlands? Perhaps he works for some other government.
It's possible, I suppose.
Perhaps he works for the Dutch.
Oh, by the way, I was racing the other day, just kind of practicing, and a dude with the last name Sapungus came on to the server. I had a good chuckle.
Very nice.
Indeed. I don't know if he's related to the Sponge.
Well, I mean, he has to be. I don't think there are too many Sapungi.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know. It's a Lithuanian name. Might be really popular down that way.
Lithuania? Like them batteries?
That's lithium.
Oh, my bad. Is that where they get lithium? From Lithuania?
Nah, lithium is... Oh!
Hello.
James Butler having a little bit of a moment there, and he keeps it
Somebody's
out of
the
wall for the time being.
Somebody drunk. Not pointing any fingers.
Battle for the lead continues here. Ben Davis trying to get down the inside of Josiah Jerome, but again, that's going to turn into the outside. Oh! But he's got it! He's got it! Ben's in the lead!
Not for long. Josiah gonna put him in a wall.
Josiah Jerome trying to make a comeback into Josiah was absolutely kicking ass in practice. He was a good second and a half faster than everyone, but it has not translated to the race. He is now in second place.
Well, I mean, he is virtually cheating by having a fully functional set of equipment to race with. So.
Well, he still does not have a fully functional.
Oh, really?
No. Well, have you not heard his frame rate?
No.
He races at 15 frames a second.
Ooh, boy, oh boy. You better be precise.
All this time we've learned that Josiah Jerome races with substandard equipment and is this fast. God damn it.
Jeebus Creepers. Can we get past the collection plate and just get that man's a 1080i, 1080 Ti, whatever it is.
Well, a laptop that doesn't fall apart would be probably a good start.
Laptop.
You don't remember that story? Remember that time he stopped during the race and we were speculating wildly as to why he'd retired, why he was at the side of the road? It turns out that the hinges on his laptop broke and the screen fell over.
Can we get this man's just okay, we need $50 for a computer case, and can we get this man's a computer?
Yeah, I mean, imagine how fast Josiah Jerome could be with a computer.
Holy shit! Listen, if you're racing on an Abacus, supreme high five, sir.
It's the second greatest revelation I've ever heard. After Alessio De Bonis, you were not doing commentary when he was around. He was an Italian guy who raced with Zero Racing.
There would be a lot more boner jokes.
He was racing bizarrely with a joystick.
Dude, I made a flight stick joke on my Supreme commentary earlier today.
There you go.
I was like, you guys are all fucked if I get my flight yoke.
So Josiah Jerome currently trailing fellow Prixium driver Ben Davis. And
what about Prixium?
In third place we have James Butler, still visible there, and behind him Mike Jeffries in the Bonk car. Then it is Andre Moll in the Bonk car. Mike Magas in the FK Performance car, and Joe Racer in the FK Performance car, and then Wayne Hutchinson bringing up the back, and I don't remember the name of his team.
Oh shit, there's actually a couple of different things. Pick some award winner photo books, photo prints. That might actually be what that is. Might not be medication. I just assumed, yeah, it is. It's a photo collage thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we apologize to Ben and Josiah for assuming that they had dick pills.
I'm just gonna go with dick pills, and I'd never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Oh, a little bit of a blink out there from
Plugging
Ben.
device, cheating, illegal.
A little bit of Romulan technology on the field.
Ben, ship that man off to the Faroe Islands.
Oh God, the Faroe Islands.
He's already Welsh. Or was it? Oh, Vinny was in chat. Had a good laugh because apparently he is Welsh.
Oh, okay. Vincenzo Roberts.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was Vinny Roberts. This username was just Vinny.
I mean, I can't think of anyone else that would be. Looks like Josiah has gotten back past Ben Davis. They're kind of side by side. Go to that battle, not Mike Jeffries. No offense to Mike Jeffries, but that's not where the camera should be. There we are.
Correct.
Ben managing to slide much later on the brakes and easily takes the first S to retain
I believe
the lead.
you and I had made some sort of Vinnie Jones reference, and maybe in conjuncture with Vinnie Roberts, and he said he is from Wales, and if he sees Vinnie Jones, he would beat him up. To which I kind of...
I don't think that's the thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way that's going to go. Just putting that out loud.
I think at the end of that fight, we're going to be singing 1-0 to the Mean Machine.
1-0. Also, I said that he was obviously lying because the only person from Wales is clearly Rhys Ifans.
Good old Rhys Ifans.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he's
Something
in
wrong
is
with his
pretty good,
yoga.
actually.
I love that's the only romantic comedy I like. Is,
You were hiding behind the bloody jukebox.
The only romantic comedy I like is Notting Hill because he's in it and he's amazing.
Honestly, I've come to the point where just, having women pick movies on me, I will take a romantic comedy because I don't absolutely want to die during them. Like, they can drag you to worse shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to go...
shows up in a fucking scuba outfit in the middle of a Julia Roberts movie with a codpiece on. Come on, son.
It's like, you want me to watch Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis be, flirty with each other? I mean, it's better than 50 Shades of Grey. I'll go with it.
I don't know.
I haven't seen that movie. Fuck that movie.
Oh, I got wrestling news. Bayley overcomes Nikki and Alexa. AJ Styles is new U.S. champ over Ricochet. Kofi Kingston outlasts Samoa Joe. And the Undertaker Reigns experiment seems more successful than initially thought. These are all the wrestling news as you need.
Anyone who you put with the Undertaker is going to get a little bit of relevance.
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't work for him the first time.
That's because they kind of tried to tease a tension deal with them, so there was no real relevance.
When there's one thing that I know, it's that Vince likes rubbing big sweaty men.
That is 100% the case. In the meantime, James Butler has really come into the play here as far as the battle for the lead is concerned. He is now the third car in this line. Mike Jeffries just a little bit back, and behind them, there's a little bit of a battle going on between Mike Magas and Joe Racer going side by side there for a little bit. Andre Mole and Wayne Hutchinson are also kind of in that battle, so this race is kind of devolved into a top 3 battle and a bottom 4 battle, with Mike Jeffries kind of on his own. Welcome back, Mike Jeffries, to a regular participant in ESR, by the way.
That's how you pronounce that? I was calling him Mike Jeffries the whole time.
Jeffries.
I'm just kidding.
I'm surprised you just didn't go with his name is Jeff.
Meow-yev!
All right.
I like Josiah Jerome with rocking the 668 card, Neighbor of the Beast.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a 666 one, unfortunately.
I think there is. I'm pretty sure you showed me your obsessive livery hunt one evening. It was like, look at this. I'm like, well...
there's
right. That one looks the best, but this one says 666.
There are liveries that are definitely 666.
Well, yeah. Because
but
evil is in.
Oh, James Butler was looking down the inside there. Couldn't. Well, he actually may get the job done. I may be speaking too soon by saying he can't get the job done. But he's definitely in the mix here with the dick pill cars.
Oh, he's thrusting forward into the lead.
Joe Racer's still very, very close to Michael Magas. We're not getting any real vision of that fight, but that's been going on pretty much already. Oh, Ben loses control.
Benjamin, what have you done?
And that's going to allow Josiah through. And James Butler is also putting the pressure on, trying to get second place.
Second place is first loser.
Battle continues there. Further back there's Ben Davis. I thought we were going further back, but it is further back. It's still Jeffries, Maul, Magas, Racer, and Hutchinson in that order. Although you can see that now Maul to Hutchinson are separated by about 2 seconds between the 4 cars. So things are very close.
Picks him. Just look at him.
So can Ben Davis get back past Josiah Jerome, or can Josiah turn the afterburners on and plow to victory?
What about the pre-burners?
Well,
no, that was almost a harpoon.
very, very close. Very, very close there.
I like it. Do it again. You missed.
It's letting James Butler get a run, though, and unable to make the move. It should be mentioned Davis and Jerome, of course, only 2 points separate them in the championship, so this is a pretty key battle that could definitely lead us into the second half of the season with how things are going to finish.
With the shaking and the baking.
Indeed. I would say Ben Davis needs to get on that shake and that bake.
Well, I heard he just wake and bakes.
No, that's getting it.
I heard that man enjoys the herbal remedies.
You heard correctly in the case of several.
It really expands the way you think about racing, man.
It probably does.
Think it has that effect on anything, really?
In general. Not overly experienced enough with myself to say about anything, but there's
well, let's just get it like a 3 or 4 pounds and have a nice salad, and we'll find out.
Yeah, that came up with the idea of my next race team's going to be called Expanding Horizons Motorsports. There you go.
No, you gotta have a cool acronym. You're just not cool unless you have an awesome acronym.
Looks like Joe Racer battling with Wayne Hutchinson side by side there.
Joe Racer currently racing for Fuck Performance.
Indeed.
Wayne Hutchinson has that menthol racing. I'm not really sure what that's going on. Bruce Wayne Hutchinson. Good eye, Brace. Hello, Bruce.
Should be mentioned that my family is expecting a new member in August.
No, who are you abducting?
The infant that is in my cousin's wife's womb.
Oh, very nice. Congratulations on the sex and the functional penis, bro.
Indeed. And actually, a family friend of ours is also having a baby, so it's going to be very close together, actually.
Can you hear that, Mike?
I can hear that.
That's shotgun shell. I got a bunch of them.
I was going to say, it sounds more like Ken Anderson shaking his pill bottle and going, my pill bottle is very lonely.
Sounds like Ken Anderson shaking his head.
Oh, that's probably actually truer than we'd like to say.
That guy's taking a lot of damage.
And by all accounts, was not the smartest cookie to begin with.
Great voice, though.
Oh, fantastic promo.
Hell yeah. I stumbled upon a great deal for bulk shotgun shells and now have very many of them and wish to dispose of them in rapid fashion. Not into people.
Sounds like things are going to happen.
It's possible. I'm not shooting any... Well, okay, if I shoot another watermelon, it's going to be at range. I'm not doing that. Watermelon! Mike, please link people up to my shotgun video in the comments.
I shall.
I had to do a lot of fucking cleanup after that, and I lent the Mossberg to Braden afterwards, and he cleaned it up even more than that. And apparently I missed some spots. But I did smell delightful in the shower.
I have cut down my own cleanup time for my grooming because I picked up this head razor that's actually doing a really good job.
You got the head blade?
It's an electric razor, but it cuts like right down to the skin.
Oh yeah,
great job.
That sounds great. Yeah. I got myself a big old set of wall clippers, and they just mow shit down. No guard, baby. No guard. Balls to the wall.
Also made a potato salad today for my family's event, and I showed up and was like, "You guys want paprika salad?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, the paprika container that I was shaking to put the paprika on the salad, the top came off, and this is this has become."
After I recommend putting paprika in it?
Yeah, yes, it was.
No, that's
everyone liked it, so it's fine.
Excellent, dude. Yeah, paprika makes everything just a little bit better. But a little too much is a little too much. Oh, that's pretty feisty.
Whoa, Ben Davis getting very, very feisty, a little bit sideways.
There's a little
problematic.
salt pepper on that.
A little bit paprika there.
Yo.
But James Butler unable to get through. I know that James had said before this race that he was, being the wild card, who's not really in the championship. He's being extra cautious about taking people out. But I feel like he could have probably put another 5 to 10% on the aggression there and made his way to second place.
I would approve, especially because that was virtually a pit maneuver gifted right across the board.
Indeed. When someone gives you a pit maneuver, you go for it.
Hell yeah. It's like, I was trying to accelerate through the corner anyway. Whoopsie.
Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, Josiah Jerome has slipped out to about 1.4 seconds. This has been a lot more competitive than I think we were thinking about it heading into the race, because we thought Josiah would clean it up, which is not the case.
Drink 2 gallons of cola and blow and call me in the morning. Also, the checkered flag waving in the air behind the finish line every single lap throws me off. I always have to look up at the race time going, what?
Yeah, a little bit.
Haven't had that much to drink. Time doesn't go by that fast.
No. We still got about half race to go here. Well, third of the race. Anyways, in the meantime, the battle for the lead continues between these 3 men. And Mike Jeffries is kind of lonely. He's about 5 seconds behind this. And then he's about 5 seconds ahead of Andre Mall. So, not really much going on in the world of the American driver Mike Jeffries right now. James Butler looking to make a move here into the final turn of the circuit. Nothing going there, though. In the meantime, Joe Racer is on the attack heading into the final corner against Mike Magas. Just ahead of them is Andre Mall, and in the background is Wayne Hutchinson. Down the inside. Oh, Joe's going to oh! A little bit of a dive bomb there. Looks like he made contact with Mall, and it looks like Mall is off the track.
What do you mean looks like? Dude, that hurt. It sounded like he broke a house.
And, keep in mind, I don't have the sound on.
I do.
So those of you, when you watch this, you're going to get a nice sound there of a massive hit.
Listen, if you're big into those commercials where they crunch way too loud because they're shitheads, this is the race for you.
It's worked out for Joe, though. He's picked up 2 spots off of that and is up into 5th place, although probably facing a penalty.
I was going to say penalty and or political sanctions.
Oh, I mean, it's the American way, sir, to do things that are going to get you political sanctions.
And then say racist stuff on Twitter. Oh, topical humor. You're not
topical humor about, the joke of president.
Yeah, that's not going to make any sense in like 2 weeks unless, things really stay in the media.
No, I personally think he'll say something else and it'll be racist, and we'll be right back here.
That sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to this news cycle.
Mm-hmm. Well, that has been the news cycle for the last year there, boss.
Well, I'm looking forward to eventually giving a shit about mainstream media and the news cycle.
Yes. Anyways, Ben Davis still holding on against James Butler. Joe Racer up into the top 5, although probably facing the wrath of Andy Blade and the hammer of the steward's office. Also up a spot is Wayne Hutchinson, as Andre Mall has dropped to the back of the pack. Poor Andre, just a completely innocent bystander in that. And a bit of a twitch there from Butler, so he's putting a little English on it. As he tries to get through this turn right here, surprisingly difficult to get correct. Not like one you're going to spin out or crash at per se, but it's one that getting the right line through there actually very challenging. Surprisingly so.
I think all British racers should have a big ass monocle in the front of their car.
That'd be intriguing.
Easily identifiable.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also think that the Australians should have a big kangaroo tail flapping on the back of their car.
I was gonna say just have a boomerang sticking out of the top of the car.
Boring. I want a little physics.
Whoa, actually, no. You can even incorporate this. The rear wing of the car is a boomerang.
There you go. In Irish racers, you just have to drive a giant bottle of whiskey around. No actual car. It's a totally different skin. Not aerodynamic at all.
Have you been checking out? There's a guy on Twitter. I'm gonna link you up afterwards. That does MMA. Whoa!
That's kind of a mess.
It's not great. It's not great. Ben Davis lost the car there, and James Butler has collected him. They've rejoined in second and third place. That being said, that is, I think, probably given Josiah Jerome the race. All he has to do is keep it clean for 9 minutes and change. But anyways, I was going to say there's a Twitter account that does MMA animated GIFs, and like just based on the fights of the past. So one of the more recent ones was Uriah Faber's unretirement fight.
Oh God!
He knocks the guy out, and then Dana White's like, I love this kid, but it rolled the whole thing about Dana White being anti him unretiring, and then Faber grabs him, drags him over to a boat that says retirement, and throws him in it, and kicks it down the thing, and then he ends up swimming after the boat because Ben Askren's ghost scares him, because Ben Askren has been a ghost in these animated GIFs ever since George Masvidal need the soul right out of him.
You've seen the picture when the knee makes contact, and
yes.
Jorge Masvidal just generates every bit of psychic energy known to humankind and forces it through the back of his skull. It's like his whole pose and body, and just like
as he's performing the baptism.
Yeah, it's like, you will probably not survive this, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Have you watched his post-fight interview yet off of that, or no?
No.
I
saw
great.
Like bits and clips, and somebody
one of the reporters is like, were the two punches afterwards really necessary? Totally necessary. Incredibly necessary. Sorry, we've gone.
Whole Foods, I'll probably smack him up.
We've gone through the MMA rabbit hole. There's no coming back.
I mentioned Bob Schreiber the other day.
There's a pretty good one about Luke Rockhold's knockout loss to Jan Blachowicz, and it basically has his whole speech about how Jan doesn't, he's slow, he's not dynamic, all the things he said about him, and then it goes through the fight. He gets knocked out, and Michael Bisping shows up and starts going, "Are you intoxicated? Are you intoxicated?" And then starts to shake Luke, going like, "Oh, come on, Luke, wake up." And then Dana White shows up, grabs the slack-jawed, broken jaw of Luke Rockhold and goes, "He broke his jaw tonight. I would like to see him retire."
Something really wrong with Luke Rockhold.
It's called a complete lack of boxing defense, frankly.
It looks that way.
Oh, Michael Jeffries looking for a move there on James Butler. Nothing doing at the moment. The rest of the field is somewhat settled, although Wayne Hutchison is on the tail of Mike Magas there for 6th position. And it is still Ben Davis leading from James Butler and Mike Jeffries, who's now the third man in this conga line due to the contact between the two Brits. Josiah Jerome has stretched out his lead to 9.8 seconds, call it.
He has achieved half stuffed meal status.
This is like a third stop meal status, let's be real.
No, it's up to 10 seconds. That's a full stop meal right there. Oh god, it's good. It's climbing to it. No, it's back down. It was climbing to 12 there. It's going. Can you get up to 12? Boys, we're getting there.
12 seconds!
We did it, fam. We did it.
It's shrinking down now, though.
Yeah,
but it was up to 12.
Figured at some point he'd hit it straight away while everybody else was hitting corners.
And there's that really long bridge straightaway, which definitely will cause the gaps to bounce around, jump around, House of Pain.
Jump up and get around.
My cousin and his wife were very thankful for the gift I gave them today, which is 2 jerseys for the Hamilton Tigers.
Very nice.
And it's their favorite numbers, and instead of a player name, it says Papa Greer and Mama Greer.
Oh, very nice. Numbers 66 and 6.
It was 14 and 19.
Those would be the best two because you can sit either side of each other. It doesn't matter.
And I'm still drastically tempted to get. So the Ticats have a player by the name of Rico Murray, and of course my uncle's name is Murray. Rico is number 0 on the team, and this seems to offend my uncle quite a bit. So I'm very tempted to buy him a number 0 Rico Murray jersey.
Get him a 00. Then he's twice as good.
I mean the 00 would be even worse. He would at that point possibly vomit. Like he may spontaneously bust.
Do they make 000?
They do not. You're only allowed 2 numbers on a jersey. So you can't do triple digits, unfortunately.
Well, that sounds.
Whoa, hang on. I hate to interrupt here, but it looked like Ben got a little sideways there, but it doesn't look like Butler has managed to force his way through at this particular juncture.
I'm not gonna lie, every time James Butler's name comes up, all I see in my head is Brain, come on. There's an actor, last name Curry. Come on, Brain. Tim Curry. That's all I see is Tim Curry from Clue.
Ah, okay.
I bottles that.
Tim Curry, great actor.
Indeed. I hope he's been having some medical problems. I want him to be instantly healed by the power of Satan.
The power of all the demonic entities and the angelic. Heal! Tim
Heal thyself! And or stem cells. Whatever works.
Ugh.
Get him, Butler!
Ben getting a little out of shape on that uphill section again, but James Butler was unable to Butler him. And get
Seems to be, it's all fucked up on one particular place, and it just happens to fuck Butler up. It's like, he goes 3/4 to the side on a spot that there's no room to get around him, and Butler just has to slow down or stop. We're just like, what the hell?
Feels like Butler is the faster car. I mean, he's always on Davis's butt. But he cannot find a way around. Coming into here to the final corner, which we saw you can overtake here, although at a somewhat carnage level.
Indeed.
We'll see if he can get it done. No real attempt there. This will be the final lap, actually, that they're heading on to now, I would imagine. And indeed, I am correct on that. So we're on lap 23, and that will be our final one here. So last chance for Butler to get around. Wayne Hutchinson, by the way, has dropped to the back of the pack at some point. It's quite a bit off of Mike Magas. So I imagine that there was some level of an incident there, perhaps.
Oh, I see. You're just going to not even talk about Andre Moll. That's fine, whatever.
Andre Moll has managed to get up to 7 points. You know what? I want to express deep sympathies to Andre Moll. He was having a fantastic race. Looked like he was on his way to a 5th place finish. And then Joe Racer happened.
And then he got the amyl nitrates.
And now it looks like the best he can do is 7th, unless someone has a moment, a problem at some point here, because he's about 7-8 seconds back at Mike Magas, and you can make up a lot of time in a lap, but that's a big ask right there, unless we're at like the Nordschleife or something.
I can dig on that. There's somebody's knocking on my door, so you wrap things up, and I'll be right back.
All right. So it looks like Josiah Jerome is going to take the win here. Ben Davis heading into the final corner against James Butler. Let's see if he can hang on to 2nd place. Butler, the wild card, would be getting a podium off of this. And Davis got a little bit wide there, but indeed will hold across the line ahead of James Butler in a very solid 4th place for the Bonk Motorsports car of Michael Jeffries. Looks like Wayne Hutchinson and Andre Moll are going to go down to the wire. Joe Racer 5th, Mike Magas 6th. Joe Racer probably facing a penalty for his collision with Andre Moll earlier in the race. Moll will bring home a 7th place, which has to be a little disappointing for him. He looked like he had more in him than that for Bonk Motorsports, and the Math Hole Racing car of Wayne Hutchinson bringing up the rear there. There is your final results in this particular race. That will extend Josiah Jerome's lead at the top of the standings over Ben Davis but it is still quite close. There's not going to be a tremendous gang for a first to second place finish.
You're saying you're like one hurricane warning away from total destruction.
Yes. That is absolutely what I'm saying.
Apparently there was some delivery guy who was given the wrong address for his delivery. So that's what was knocking on my door.
That's less than ideal.
Little closure there for the viewers at home.
Indeed. So, Byron, do you have anything final to wrap up here as we can conclude this particular commentary?
I think Fuck Performance might be my new favorite over Bonk Motorsports, but it's a tough call.
It's a tough call. What about Crap Racing?
Crap Racing it's in the mix. It's right in there, but it's underutilized, I feel.